National Albinism Awareness Day. Of course, this is celebrated annually every June 13 to celebrate the human rights of persons living with albinism worldwide. And we have two beautiful guests right here in the studio this morning that will help us talk about this day. They are what it has been for them to be to live with albinism and all we need to know about albinism. And I also have my colleague right here seated with me in the studio in the person of Ajuluchiku Okabwe. Also, let's start with the introduction of our guest. We have Vivian Ezonwumel. Vivian Ezonwumel is the chairman, Anambra State Albinism Association. ASA, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Welcome, viewers.
We also have Philip Walker. Philip Walker is the director of communication, Anambra State Albinism Association. Glad to have you, Philip.
Thank you very much.
And also, welcome to the program, my fellow black guy. My host. You can see we have a light.
Yeah.
In the studio.
So I'm the darkest person here. Is that what you're saying?
I think followed by me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are glad to be in your midst this morning.
Looking at the TV screen, I can see the contrast between my skin and that of Vivian.
I'm telling you the truth. Just look at me. Look at how dark I'm looking. But look at these beautiful people seated with us this morning. I want to say glad to have you again on the show. So we are looking at the topic this morning, 2023 International Albinism Awareness Day. And just to let you know that you can also be part of our discussion this morning, what you need to do is just to dial the number that is displayed in front of your television set this morning. All right, quickly, let's start with you, Vivian. Of course, this day has been, specifically made to create awareness about this condition that people living with albinism, and it has been going on for a while now. So, and we want to know the intent, the reason why this day was set up. Yeah, of course, I said it's for awareness, and yes, in the creation of the awareness, how far have we gone since we started commemorating this day?
So far, the whole thing started actually in 2014,
Yes.
18th December, where it was marked that every June 13th will be a day mapped out for creating awareness for persons with albinism. This is where you let people, enlighten people to know how best to treat persons with albinism. That albinism is not a curse, like so many think. Some people have a lot of myths about albinism.
Sure.
So this day is a day that has been mapped out to let people know, to stop some misconceptions about albinism, and also let the government protect the rights of persons with albinism. So that's specifically what this day is meant for. And so far, I think to some extent, persons with albinism are trying to be coming out a bit, because if you come back like 3 to 5 years ago, so many of us are very, very shy to come out, to express themselves. But now you can come to social media, you see a person with albinism doing skits.
Yes.
Now you can see a person with albinism posting pictures, which
they are in the movies too.
Exactly. So I think to some extent the awareness is, but we still have a lot to do, because even those that are doing the skits still use that platform to make mockery of persons with albinism.
Oh, really?
Yes. The
the
persons with albinism,
okay,
they still use the skit just to get more traffic. You see a skit where somebody is trying to slap another person, he maybe to pass the message that persons with albinism with their low vision cannot see. Then he or she goes to slap another person. That's mimicry. That is very wrong. So all this is why I say we still have to keep creating the awareness, to let them know that what they're doing is inhuman. They shouldn't reduce persons with albinism to nothing. So that's the essence of this event.
Okay.
Well, while you're talking about that, I wouldn't be wearing glasses for fun, you understand? So it's not a case of albinism being related to issues with sight. No. If not, I wouldn't be wearing glasses. So that affects all of us. But then, Philip Mukeli, you understand, as a communication guru, you understand, when it has to do with the Association of Albinism in Anambra State, what role are you guys playing, you personally, you understand, or maybe let's say your little office playing in sensitizing and definitely creating more awareness about albinism?
Thank you very much. I really want to also thank my association, my chairperson, for actually creating out this platform. Because the ginger, like for the past 3 to 4 years, if you look at somebody or persons with albinism, we are being restricted to some certain things. But now, the society, how do they understand it? You understand what I'm saying? If you talk about it, let's go to the family. When you have 5 kids and one person there is just person with albinism, how will the family treat the person? That is just what matters. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But now we have plenty cases, and we, from my office, the director of communication, from my office, I think we have been doing a lot of things, whereby we sensitize our society. We also go to our social medias, projecting and programming very good, beautiful things being done by a person with albinism, which we have plenty of them. If you look at the recent show, I've forgotten the guy's name, Ebuka or something like that. He did something nice. And with that, you also know that persons with albinism, we are not just what people think we are. Understand? We are exceptional and special people. The only challenge that somebody or person with albinism just had is just that patient. Be patient with them. Just because of this, the vision of a thing. There's something they said, this is not a curse. This is not a sickness. This is just what you came with. And people need to understand it and be patient to work with you. You understand what I'm saying? During my school days, my lecturers, they would tell me, Phils, did you actually understand this? I would say, no, sir. It's okay. After this class, let's meet. After the class, I will go to his office. And if you watch me with that course, I'll be having A. I'll be having AB. But if you come to other courses whereby the lecturers are impatient with me, I'll end up struggling with it. At the end of the day, they'll say, okay, there's something we'll call in school, Pharaoh, let my people go. Instead of failing you, they will say, okay, go with it. But it's not that I am not good enough for that, but it's just that the lecturer himself isn't patient. So what we are crying out to the public, and we are also calling on government to also help us. The teachers that are being sent to school, there are special skills to handle some persons with disability, especially persons with albinism. I think with that, we can do much more.
I want to thank you so much for that explanation. Let's come back to you, Vivian. I want to ask a personal question. Of course, it's not as if you can just wake up one day and you have turned, your color just changed. So it started from when they gave birth to you. No? So now tell us what you have faced. What are the challenges you faced while growing up as someone living with albinism? How was the journey? I mean, to get to this point where you are right now?
The journey is not too sweet, neither is it too bitter. It's just a mixed thing because of the kind of parents I have. Growing up, you know, a family is the first society the child meets. Yeah. That matters a lot. It helps in the formation of that child. So growing up, I grew up in a family that we are 6. The 3 of us are persons with albinism. Okay. So we were treated even more special because they paid more attention to persons with albinism than that of the. So it's not a family where they say, oh yeah, person with albinism, move this way. They were concentrating on persons without albinism. So I think I grew up in a loving family. But it wasn't so smooth when from primary school, I moved to secondary school. When I went to the secondary school, it wasn't as sweet as, I came to a totally different society where they were treating me more like an alien. that I'm not like my skin and theirs, they were judging me based on my skin pigmentation. So there was a lot of struggle, but I don't have any choice than to mix up. So I had to create a buffer. How will I survive in this society? I had to start striving, struggling, the ones that I can, the ones I couldn't, the ones I have no control over. Sometimes we were asked to stay under the sun, all this outdoor. Then I never knew my challenge was, my major challenge was the sun. So I will have my sunburn. It wasn't easy though, but through secondary school, then growing up into an adult, entering higher institution, you have a lot of things, you have relationships, so it wasn't that easy. The society is very hostile. So the only thing I did was I tried to build myself, self-development. I started striving, how will I be relevant? Developing myself academically, wherever I go, I make sure, if you count first 10, I'll be in the first 5. So that's how I started growing. Then I said, no, I wouldn't like younger generations to face the same challenge. I want to make it much more easier
for them.
So that, before now, we don't have an association of persons with albinism in Anambra State. Before now, we have fractions, we have foundations, we have this, but no association. So that was how I went to JONAP, Joint National Association of Persons with Disability. I told them, I would like to identify myself with you people, and I would like my association to join, because I noticed they don't have persons with albinism in the association. That was how we came together. I started calling, we came together, formed Anambra State Albinism Association, and joined JONAP, where we share ideas, to people, telling them more about persons. You will be shocked that a lot of people do not know much about persons with albinism.
Yeah,
they don't know. So when they got to know what we go through, they started helping us to disseminate the information, to share they joined the campaign.
Meanwhile, there is something I heard about people living with albinism, that they are very intelligent. How true is that?
Very, very true. Very, very true. No, joke apart. Like my elder brother is a lecturer in UNIZIC, in educational psychology. We have so many professionals that has albinism. We have reverend fathers, we have doctors, we have engineers, we have so many. But the thing is, if our teachers can be patient, just like my brother said, if our teachers can be a little bit patient with us. The problem is the teachers, they don't seem to be patient. Once they see that the child cannot see, they don't even want to know how best are we going to help you. What they do, they push the child as a dullard. And at the end of the day, you see that the child will be repeating classes. And with the economy, no parent will like to be paying exactly with this economy. Thank you. Now what's next? The parents drops the child, and the highest gift you give a child is education. Once you give that child a good education, if I'm not educated, I will not be here with you people. I can't express myself. Once you give the child education, you see that some of these challenges we face, what's the social cultural ones, the child can fight it.
Now, talking about in school, I think this is where some of the roles our parents have to play will come in. Now, you talked about some of you having this eye problem, like you can't see the board very well, like in the classroom. Isn't it enough reason for the parents to come to school and probably talk to the proprietor, to the headmistress, or to the teacher in question?
Like that was another problem I solved in the association. Not saying that the problem could be sculpted from little. I introduced as a branch where we call the parents of persons with albinism. We tutor them. I give them example with my parents from my day one nursery, pre-nursery to let's say secondary school senior secondary school, my mother will always go to school to tell the teacher, see, this child is a child with albinism. She will always be at the front row. I was always at the front row of the seat. So I told them, if you keep doing that, when the teacher, sometimes you take them unawares, come to the school to know where your child is placed. The child should be at the front row. Most times the gap they give between the front row and the whiteboard is a little bit. Then the child should be allowed to go to the whiteboard to see that board. Then another thing is that you should take the child to a medical doctor, eye doctor, that will test the eye. And so that the child, I started wearing glasses as a toddler. Even my 2 other siblings, they're not wearing medicated glasses now. They only wear sunshades. I'm wearing medicated because I had issue when I was small. So when I became adult, it started disturbing me again. So when you start very early to give that child glasses, you see that it will not correct perfectly because this is what we came with, but it will aid in that child's sight. So this was what I always do each time we gather. We call the parents. We have a section where we call people to come and talk to the parents. Yes.
Well, based on the narrative Nwokedi gave, based on what happened while he was in school, I had a different story. You understand? We had a student, a pupil in my school then with albinism, and he was loved by everybody. In fact, we all wanted to. I remember then, as kids as we were, somebody was crying to be an albino because she felt the attention this girl was getting, that she needed it too. No, I'm telling you, as in way back, kids in primary school there, because the attention was, every person would ask, Ruth, her name was Ruth anyway, Ruth, Alpha, anything that she wanted. Our school uniform was different because he had to be long sleeve, while others were wearing pinafore and short sleeve. So I knew the challenges of people with albinism right from that, based on the fact that I had a classmate that had that issue. And then we all in that class, about 36 of us, you understand, showed extra love. To the extent that somebody was crying that she wants to have the same attention, you understand? So contrast to what I'm hearing here, I'm surprised because I had the experience long enough and it has never in any way hampered my dealings with people like that. So, like you said, there was a role the teacher in our class played. You understand?
Exactly.
That really helped too.
Exactly.
Like you made it understand. Probably maybe there was a parent-teacher interaction.
Exactly.
Which these students, didn't know. Ruth sat in front. That I know vividly. You understand?
Yes.
We share things in common with her. Nobody was saying, don't rub off your white on me or stuff like that. She was loved. And this girl was intelligent. That I won't take away from her. You understand? I don't know if it comes with the gene anyway, but then I'm telling you based on the experience. So if that teacher could translate that to us, the pupils in that class, and then the 36 of us, minus the Ruth herself, you understand, now go to different schools and grow up and then meet things that don't you think that awareness is already spreading? That is a change one person is already bringing in a class.
Yes, and that's what we are advocating
that's
for,
what
inclusivity.
You guys are advocating. Then on the mindset of we pupils then in school, if any person tries to mimic or make a mockery of Ruth outside our class, you see us going out to fight for her. Do you understand? So that protection, I don't know where this young lady, but I wouldn't believe that she will sit down in a place and say where she feels bad having this issue. So the society needs to have that awareness early enough in order for us to curb all these inexcesses. And now coming out, what challenges are you guys having trying to push this thing forward in these contemporary days that we have now?
Okay. We should start with Philip.
Okay. I think we have numerous challenges.
Okay.
Coming to the society, the situation of the society. Now it's all about, we talk about the financial aspect of it, whereby you wish to visit maybe a school for a sensitization program.
Okay.
But now the resource to meet up to that school wouldn't be there. So what would you do? You try to cut down costs. There are campaigns whereby you're supposed to go like in large numbers, 2 or 3 persons. But when you have 1 or 2 persons, maybe the message will not be passed the way you wanted it to. So I think our first challenge is is finance. And secondly, it's not all about saying it. It's all about the people understanding and believing what we are saying. You understand what I'm saying? Now, how will you, let me just ask you this question, how will you handle this? You are in a vehicle, maybe you boarded the vehicle, you sat on the first row. The next person that's supposed to sit behind you will choose to go and sit at the back.
Exactly.
When you understand it, that the person actually wants to avoid you. So, at first, you'll be uncomfortable throughout the whole journey. One, because now you're looking at yourself as if like you have an issue. Sometimes you do like this. Did I rub anything on my body?
You're smelling.
Whether am I smelling? But you look at yourself, you're looking good. So why would this person try to avoid you? So the society is also not helping the situation. So what we are advocating for is just for them to implement this word, inclusiveness. Persons with albinism will come out like a shining light.
Okay. Talking about, because I think this part we are talking about, I mean, when you enter a vehicle, the example you gave that someone would just leave your seat to go and sit at the back because they feel that maybe you are going to rub your skin on them and they will change color and all that. It's all about building confidence. How do you also, help these young ones? Of course, you are the chairperson of this association. Help this young one to build the confidence that even when something like this happens, I mean, you just keep going because you know that nothing is wrong with you and you didn't decide. I think this is not your decision. This is the way you, giving birth to.
Like I told you, my background, just like he said, I will not use because I'm from a background where I'm included and say that there are no persons with albinism that everybody is included. No. There are some people that are in rural areas that do not have any knowledge. Like he said, that school was totally inclusive. If the teachers or the school were not inclusive, they will not forge along. Good. So in my own situation, I use myself as an example. I always tell them, see, this you can do it. As I speak to you, I don't know if you know about Mandela Washington Fellowship.
Yes, yes.
Good. I am one of the participants that will be going to US. So, what are we saying?
AJ, we are going to change our skin color.
So the only difference is just the skin pigmentation. Yes. Our brains are still the same.
Okay, now
wait, before you even go there, Chidima, you said the only difference
is the skin.
When we're in school, root was too fragile to even sweep. Normal chores that we do as students, we don't allow it because that we say.
You think that?
That's your perception. That is your perception.
Or rather, the entire class. No, don't bother, don't do this.
Because of the skin.
The skin color.
And exactly, that's what many people, they think we can't do this. It affects even employment. When you go to seek, if you come to our association, let's say 85% of us are unemployed. When you go to seek employment, what they do, they don't check your capacity. Exactly. They judge you immediately with your skin pigmentation. Exactly, that you can't do this. I've gone to everything, I did everything. Immediately it reached the physical interview. I passed every level. Physical interview, they said, oh, we can't select you because you can't do the job. I said, why?
No reasons.
No reasons. Because they think, as a person with albinism, I cannot deliver. So these are the things.
But your skin texture, is your skin tougher than mine?
Okay. Right here, we are still in the studios of ABS discussing about the 2023 International Albinism Awareness Day. But we are going to take a short break now. And when we come back, we continue with that discussion. Of course, we still have Mokedi here with us and Vivian seated with us right here in the studio. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
An albino can barely see or write. He cannot stay in the sun for a few seconds. You start burning. Albinism is cancerous to a large extent. So the awareness should be heightened. So in terms of violence, you look at it in some other parts of the world. They use albinos for rituals, for a whole lot of nasty things.
if anybody discriminates against them, it must be out of ignorance. But if such things happen, then the government, I think by sensitization, telling people, training people, sensitizing them maybe through the social media or anyhow, for them to realize that these people are not any different from themselves. They are not inferior. In fact, they might even be superior in that the cognitive memory is better than the ordinary person, and then they should also be protected because of their skin. They shouldn't be exposed to too much sunshine or sunlight. So the government could do something for them, people that have that, maybe provide them with a good job opportunity in school. They should be protected, maybe maybe like face cap, I think, protect them from the sun. They should not be left uneducated, so they have to like hawk things and then move around and be affected by the sun, which could cause them skin cancer or anything like that.
Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended for Nigeria. The first one there is right to life. Every human being has a right to live, and it's a United Nations recognized human right. So people who discriminate are violating laws of nature, laws of global community through the United Nations, and laws of Nigeria, because the constitutional law is that we should allow everybody access to life without this free living as God has destined. So if you are discriminating against albinos, it's not good, and you should have a change of heart. And even we are Christians in this part of the country. Our Christian life tells us we should love our neighbors as ourselves. Even the Muslims have been opportune to live among them before. The Quran believes that everybody should live in peace and harmony.
The people, the government, I believe, should create a kind of an agency that will enlighten the people so that they will understand why they are having that declaration. It has nothing to do with it doesn't affect people. It's just a natural mutation, or what they call it. That is what it is. And I think they shouldn't be discriminated, and people need to be enlightened.
Sensitization is highly needed through all medias, even going to the market, to tell them that they're just people like us. There's nothing different. They're just people like us. They didn't want to be an albino, but they came to the world as an albino, so they don't have choice to change it. But I think it's just mentality. We need to reform our thinking.
All right. Well, from that clip that you saw where people were talking about albinism, and I think I learned a thing or two there when somebody was talking about people with albinism. Most of their challenges the sunlight, radiation, and stuff like that. Well, let me definitely come down to Vivian to ask her if that is much of a challenge and what you guys are doing about that. Vivian, you heard what one of our guests there in the street walks said.
Yes, they're very, very right, because many people think our problem is salt, seafood, but World Health Organization has said that there is more percentage of persons with albinism dying of goiter because of lack of iodine. So you see that because the children are not being fed with salt, they now end up having deficiency of iodine in their skin, in their body. So skin, our major problem is the sun. It has nothing to do with salt, it has nothing to do with seafood, crayfish, pepper. I eat a lot of salt. I can even put excess in my food. It still do not do. The major thing is the sun. We, like in our association, we have buried like 3 members of my association. We have buried and these people, none of them have reached 30 years. The first one was 23, the second one was 24, 25, and only son. So you see that.
Was it as a result of exposure to sun or what?
Yes, skin cancer. Wow. Skin cancer, very, very bad.
Okay, now talking about that skin cancer and you not, your skin one of your enemies is the
biggest
sunlight.
Yes.
One of your biggest enemies. Or in fact, the biggest. Let's not use one of the biggest
enemy.
Now you see some of these people living with albinos, hawking on the streets. And you see some of them having these black spots all over their body. Now, as the chairman or chairperson of this association, what have you done to see that, look at the pictures we are seeing on the screen now, to see that these people are, I know you cannot do it all. Yes. I know you need help from the government, from stakeholders and all that, but to what extent have you gone to see that these people are really being taken care of?
Okay, first of all, sometime last year, I partnered with a foundation which is White Angels Foundation, where we took some kids with albinism and few adults to a program where they were giving free skin care check, and they were also giving some gadgets like lip balm, sunscreens, and so on. So these are the things we do. Then sometimes we also call resource persons to talk to us about skin issue. Like I told you, we have a section where we gather parents with albinism to talk to them about what kind of things, because most of these problems is not really from the persons with albinism. You see a mother meeting another person, oh, please stop using this cream, use this cream, not knowing the effects of the cream on the child. Maybe probably you carry your baby, they will say, oh, you have a baby with albinism, stop giving hope she's not taking salt, hope she, a lot of unprofessional advisors. You see that the parents will be confused. At the end of the day, she will go and get one yama thing and apply on the child, and the child the skin will start reacting from there, and probably the thing will not be reacting at that time. Maybe like 5 to 6 years later, it will start reacting. Then the person will now start running around. Before you know what's happening, it gets bad. So we try to create awareness. We try to tell people about how to take care of the skin. Always cover the skin, wear the round brim hat, because you see with fashion, then another problem we're having again is the adults. They will always like to put on the face cap, not just like my brother. They will not like that of the round one, because now he's putting on the face cap. The ear is not covered. The sun is still affecting the ear with the back of the neck. And when you see most of them, the other person that we buried, the problem started with the ear. And most of them falls in the part of the guys. Like the 3 of them were guys. We also have ladies that have challenges with skin, but in the part of the ladies is majorly maybe she saw spots. So she's anxious, oh, which guy will like me like this? She will start applying toxic substances on it. From there, it will escalate to skin cancer. So I would advise that our persons with albinism should always consult a dermatologist, a professional who will tell them the best thing to use on their skin before they apply. Then try as much as possible to cover your skin whenever you are going out, and preferably when you are going out, especially the sun, from 9 o'clock to 4 p.m. Okay. Avoid that sun, because it's very bad. But because of the climate change now, you see that even 5 o'clock, the sun is still very... Exactly. So I would advise, anytime you are exposing your skin, if you can't afford, because the sunscreen is at a very high cost, good. So if you can't afford that sunscreen, I've tried to be using umbrellas. Our ladies are too shy to be using umbrellas. Even our guys, they will say, oh, I can't use umbrella, people will be laughing at me. Ignore that, because when the cancer comes to your door, the pain and the cost, because most times we will beg, we will write and write and write, we will not get any fund to support that person. We have also gone to the hospitals to support as little as we could. There was a time we gave out 50,000 to our members who are down in the hospital. At the end of the day, we lost 2 of them. Wow. So we don't want a situation where we will be losing people with albinism to skin cancer. We want them to start, we are now using protective measures.
Yeah, prevention they say is
Exactly. So that it will not get to that stage. So that's early stage. If you see anything that is not, it is not normal. Me, myself, another way I did, another thing, we partnered with dermatologists at Nnewi Teaching Hospital. They were running a free skin cancer issue. I threw it open in my association. They came to me. Somebody gave them my number. We had to pay them visit. I met the doctor, the chief consultant. She told me, see what they're planning. And since they started, they don't have much persons with albinism. I said, how much have you people passed this message? You see that people are not aware. So I had to take the news down to my community. I shared it with my association. Some people were scared. They were like, maybe they want to use us and do experiments. I had to use myself. I have my scar here. I did surgery. I had skin cancer. So I had to use myself. I went and I did the surgery. The thing encouraged a lot of people. They started coming. People that had issues, they started, because it's very good because mine has not developed that big. So it's very good. You start on time to remove the basal cell cancer, to avoid escalating.
Okay.
Yes.
This year's theme is inclusion in strength. Yes. I'm talking to you now, Philip. Of course, we are talking about creating awareness and a whole lot. Now, how can we use this theme, the theme of this year's celebration, to drive down that awareness, creation of awareness, not just to parents, but to employers of labor, to teachers in our school, to our religious leaders, to our traditional, and then to the society at large. Of course, she talked about her relationship when she was in the university. Some people will see her and be like, I wouldn't want to associate myself with a girl with this kind of skin color and all that. So how are we going to use this year's thing to drive down this message to every nook and cranny of the society?
Okay, thank you very much. When you look at this, inclusion is strength. You bring it down. These are two different words: inclusion and strength. How will you define the term inclusion when there is no law of existence, when there is no togetherness, when you don't accept what you are meant to? These are things that you're supposed to. You need to encourage it so that they can breathe. I told my friend sometime ago, I told him that when you are home and you feel malaria and your parents are patting you at your back, please get well. The rate where you recover is very, very high, the speed rate. But when you took ill on your own, the rate where you recover is very, very low. It's only under God's grace. So this is why now we are calling on the government. And we also thank Anambra State government for their efforts so far, introducing a Disability Rights Commission. Mm-hmm. So we are also calling on them to also empower the commission. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes we write, please attend to persons with albinism. Like the recruitment of the 5,000 teachers, we also talked about it. If you talk about inclusion, you also include persons with albinism. You understand what I'm saying? They will tell you, persons with albinism can't do this. No, your skin doesn't define who you are. Your capacity is what matters. I chaired few associations. Didn't know how I did that because they tested me and they need to believe. When I'm leaving, they were like, you have to come. I said, no, it's time to leave. Why did they believe in me so much? Because they needed to sit down, understand what capacity is this guy bringing, or what is his capacity, what is his level of exposure. So now we are calling on our society, government in particular, to help us in this awareness. If there is a way they can subsidize things that some persons with albinism uses, I think it will aid and it will also help us. Like my chairperson just said, the price of a sunscreen, the minimum is 3,500. how many persons with albinism are working? Most of us are self-employed. You know how we did that? When you look at the society, they said when the society when the society are looking away from you, the best thing you can do to yourself is to bring yourself up, train yourself as much as you can, equip yourself. They will come back for you. Because now, currently, now I believe people work with established people. Nobody wants to start from the scratch to raise, let me say, an individual. To begin to train. They say, no, I don't, this foundational stuff, I think I'm not interested.
They'll ask you to come with 25 days.
Experience. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when you look at those things, it's not actually helping persons with albinism. Like there was a place I applied for employment. They were like, are you sure you can do this thing with our system? I told them, but I work with my laptop. They were like, we are not actually sure with your capacity. I said, these are my work. When they start seeing reasons, what the man just told me was, I'll call you back. Up to date, he hasn't called. And I believe, yes, no, he has not. And I believe just because he saw persons with albinism, he said, hope this one will not come and spoil our system. But now, that is their own perception. Persons with albinism are one of the most careful individuals. One, because they said, what the society feels you can do or you can't do, prove them otherwise. Put in your best, and you will surely deliver. They said knowledge is what, when you call for it, it actually responds to you. So I think with that, the strength and the inclusion will actually come to limelight.
Okay. So Vivian, this year's awareness day, do you have any activities lined up to celebrate and create the awareness? Yes. Of course, we are starting from this one, coming out here to create our awareness. Okay. So do you have any other things?
Yes, we have an event going on. It will start very soon. Once I'm leaving here, I'm going back to the Rakunya Women Development Center, where we have a lot of people to talk to us. We also have a doctor who will come and test the eye. Okay. Yes, free eye test for anybody that comes, or any person with albinism. Let me not say anybody. So my brother. So it's not for everybody, just for children and adults. No problem. No problem. But the free eye test, don't quote me, the free eye test is just specifically for persons with albinism. So don't say I said for everybody. So these are the little ways, with the little resources we have. Yes, because we don't have much, just like he said. Fund is our major challenge. Yes. So at least we can use that and commemorate about today's event.
That's good. That's good. Well, you guys have said a whole lot of things, as in, how do you guys intend to champion this inclusiveness? You understand? Is it by, regular advert or regular presentations like this on TV, or going to schools to sensitize, or which other means, as in based on the communication guru here?
Okay.
What means do you guys have to champion this stuff?
Well, okay. Are you going? Okay, we have so many channels. Yeah. We can add this. We also use our individual social media channel. We also, our association have a Facebook page. Okay. Yes, we created a Facebook page. So whatever we are doing, if you go to our Facebook page, Anambra State Albinism Association, ASA, is on Facebook. You just go there, you follow.
We are talking about people that have access to internet and all that. What are the people that are staying in the rural communities?
Yes,
how do you reach out to them?
We also go to communities. Because I said resources is our major challenge. Sure. The little we can. We go to churches to talk sometimes. So anywhere, even in the buses, I talk about albinism. So we put it upon ourselves that we must champion this cause. So in as much as we don't have resources, we still, as an individual, anybody I meet, all my friends knows about albinism. Even to the extent that wherever they go, they will join the campaign. So that is, even in my present pursuits to Mandela Washington, I introduced it, and they're also championing the same thing because Vivian is talking about it. So you see, we put it upon ourselves that everybody, individuals, even if we don't have fun, let's put it upon ourselves as an individual. And wherever you are going, pass the message, pass the good. Just like both of you are just hearing it now. You also help us to pass the message.
I'm not hearing it for the first time.
Exactly. So
Okay, Philip, you wanted to add something?
Yes, and we also talk about togetherness in making it work.
Okay.
If I choose to champion it, and she joins, and you join, and he joins, the guy on the street joins, the wheelbarrow pusher also joins, I think we'll cover a lot of minds. Because
then government joins.
If government joins, like, do it as a jingle, be twice, once a week, give us free to air programs where we come out and educate people in the rural areas that has no access to internet, but at least they listen to radio. When you have a program that is being tagged maybe albinism education or educating people on albinism, you can champion the program maybe once in a week. People will be queuing to listen. They say every Wednesday, any day, let's tune and know about the welfare of persons with albinism. With that, it can also improve.
Okay. Yeah. Well, on that note, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Philip, for joining us on the show, and to you, Vivian, for also being part of it. And all I will ask and plead with you is just like you said, togetherness. You can do it together as a team, so that you carry everyone in this together when you are going up. Whatever it is that you're doing, carry everybody along so that it will go to, down to the grassroots where we have people that don't really know much to do, because most parents, they don't even know the A to Z of how to even take care of a child with albinism. So we really need to start doing this, start carrying out the awareness campaign to see that everyone, once you have a child, that some people, I have seen a woman that gave birth to a child with albinism in the hospital. She started crying. It's like she's being cursed or something like that and all that. So we need to, educate them, to tell them that it's not a contagious disease. And they didn't decide to come this way. And if you ask me, I wouldn't even want to have a baby with albinism because I like the color. They're very beautiful, adorable. Look at these beautiful people seated with us right here in the studio this morning. I'm so glad to be in your midst this day, and I want to say that we are grateful for you coming here to explain to us and what you are doing with the association. We are proud of you. Kudos. Thank you once again for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you, ABS, for having us.
Thank you very
much. Thank you, MD, for listening to our plea, because I was the one that came for free.
It's okay. And we are doing our part, okay? Kudos to the MD CEO of Anambra Broadcasting Service for also allowing you guys to be here. And also the producer of this program, the person of Ifi Odachuku. Thank you so much for allowing them to grace our screen this morning.
Thank you so
My name is Chidibma Orangwa. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye-bye.
And I'm Maju.